know what kind of form, so I'm just going to get right into character.
We're rolling, dude. Oh, God, we're rolling.
I was thinking about, this is unrelated, but I wanted to tell you this really quick.
Yeah.
About fucking Daniel Day-Lewis, how he gets into a role.
Oh, yeah?
And then he has to he gets so deep into a character that he has to leave and then go cobble shoes in Switzerland or something. Have you heard about that?
I've heard about him being a method actor. I haven't heard about him going to Switzerland afterwards to reset, to become Daniel Day-Lewis again. He has to find himself.
Dude, yeah. So I don't know if it's Switzerland, but I swear to God, he's a cobbler somewhere in Europe. And he's won Best Actor, Academy Awards.
Yeah. That's the millionaire. Can you imagine some guy who works at local theater and he gets so into the role of Scrooge for the Christmas play? He's I have to go work at a Foot Locker in Detroit.
Well, no, that's what I was thinking. I was that's how I know I'm fucked up, because he has to do that to go. He puts himself through the psychological madness of being an oil baron in the 30s and
yeah,
having no remorse. He has to reacclimate.
Yeah.
I need to go cobble shoes just because I'm a fucking insane person in my waking life.
Yeah, you're
I desire an Italian retreat to be able to cope with working 40 hours a week.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny if he was doing it not because he got so into the role, but just because he's a rich guy and he can't work. So when he gets done with a movie, he's like, that was so much work. I have to go do something wild for a while to get out of it. Do you think he's in character as an Italian shoe cobbler over there, or do you think he's fucking 20-year-olds on a boat?
I think he's
cobbling during the day.
Oh, you're saying living a life of luxury?
Yeah. Do you think it's do you think he's actually, or do you think that's just he has to go to a place where he's out of the limelight?
Oh, yeah, I think he's feeding birds. He's having long teas and overlooking vistas.
Is he married?
I don't know. That's a good question. That would be a wild spouse to have.
If he's cobbling by day and hobbling by night, he's putting the ladies.
The fucking, and your sister comes over. She's like, "Where's Daniel at?" You're "Oh, he's in Italy."
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, that's better than when you come over. You're like, "Where's Daniel at?" And he goes, "It's Lincoln. I'm the 16th president of the United States."
You really don't know what you get, and I like surprises, so.
It's I'm with a different historical figure every night. Sometimes it's James Bond. Sometimes it's Abraham Lincoln. Sometimes it's.
She's like, "Honey, Mussolini. Did we get milk?" He's like, "I'm an oil man."
I'm Gatsby.
Did you see Lincoln?
No. Was it good?
No, I didn't.
I have a hard time getting into some of the super serious dramas for some reason.
I'm not as big of a biopic guy as I think I once was. I just want the history now. I want a Ken Burns.
Yeah, I want to break it down. There's a pretension to watching somebody, especially, this is also the problem. I think once you've done too much behind the scenes research, it ruins it, because you're this guy is portraying Lincoln really well, but I'm having a hard time appreciating that and not just thinking about this is some manic weirdo who just punched the black guy at craft services table because he is trying to stay in character or whatever.
But it's especially if it's a true historical event, I'm just give me the details.
Yeah.
I want to consume this I'm getting briefed for a mission or something.
Yeah.
That's how those PBS document. It's just spinning pictures.
Yeah, it's almost a PowerPoint slide.
Yeah.
With the way they overlay the two black and white Civil War images, kind of they're both going this way.
You just get the older you get, the more you can tolerate boring ass content if the subject matter tickles your fancy.
Yeah.
And it's almost the lines blur between you're 80 years old, you're into nautical navigation.
Yes.
You ever see those type of old guys?
Yeah, that's a specific kind of old guy with the red and white life preserver up on the wall.
Yeah.
Everything. That's funny because those guys, it's red and white life, then everything else is rusted brass. It's all wood telescopes with the brass fittings, the steering wheel,
It's why do you have a nautical compass on your desk? We're in Minneapolis right now.
Minneapolis used to take the river up to the Great Lakes. They had to navigate by the stars. Yeah, those guys are 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon away from the nearest large fresh body source of water. But it fits when you get on the coast. Those guys I like those guys on the coast, or at least I like being in their abode.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, this is relevant to the
My dad's friend. I don't know if they used to work for him or something like that, but and the Outer Banks, my godfather and my dad both used to be carpenters together, but like way before they had kids. There was somebody that they knew we'd go visit named RD, who was like old, lived on the coast or on the sound, carpenter. He was missing one of his fingers at the knuckle because he cut it off.
Is the Outer Banks Alaska?
No, it's North Carolina.
Okay, North Carolina.
It's it's the islands that border the coast of North Carolina. North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, the north.
Oh yes, he is north, and he was
the
like almost
part of the state.
Not, he was kind of close to Virginia, yeah.
And it's islands off the coast.
Well, it's like, so the North Carolina has the barrier. It's like the Outer Banks are like.
See, I'm not even familiar with that. I've never been to the coast there.
It's like the beaches are all on these like thin islands. They're like less than a mile wide that like make up the area. So there's the state, and then there's the mixed body of like salt and freshwater called the Sound that's in between the state and like these barrier islands, and then the islands, and then the islands border the Atlantic.
Gotcha.
But anyway, he would like, yeah, it was a nautical guy. Like I don't remember it super well, but he would like, most of his stuff was like made by him. When his like legs started to go, he like made a electric elevator in his own. I remember that being fun. Like as a kid, taking his little elevator up. And yeah, a lot. I feel like if I remember correctly, there was some of the maps on the wall with like the longitude and latitude telescope, the compass. You know what I mean? That sort of, I've lived my whole life at the beach sort of thing.
Yeah, well, that's like, it's relevant, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're by a giant body of water,
yeah,
it makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's also this aspect of people in the Midwest that like, especially further south, where they go to Florida all the time.
Yeah.
And then they try to like recreate a beach house in central Missouri.
Yeah. I've seen that. You see that in Chicago sometimes.
Yeah.
When you come around and people have like the house in the, like up here in the north suburbs, where people have a house that's like a little lifted with like the pull-in car garage, and you're like, it doesn't flood here.
I want to trash it, but I'd almost be lying because I almost get sentimental about it.
I like it. It just looks like it needs to be on a coast.
I'm talking about when you go in and they're like, there's sand in your boots and drink a margarita. We're at the beach.
Yeah.
You know those like shitty signs that people hang up?
Oh, you mean parrot heads? You mean Jimmy Buffett?
Yeah, I guess that would describe it.
Yeah, shaker assault. They
talking about a parrot house.
You know, that's a classic. A fixture of those houses is the neon flamingo, or the neon parrot.
That's so funny.
The light.
Dude, you really got some heavy birds back there.
I know. I was gonna ask if you think it's coming through on the recording. You see them?
That's badass.
They come through and they fight for the scraps after a while. I've seen them. There's a squirrel that comes through and scavenges at the bird feeder, and I'll watch the pigeon. I watch the pigeon and the squirrel take turns. Like the pigeon would like wing its head a couple times, kind of, and then the squirrel would like get frustrated and just paw the pigeon's head. But it was like a Curly Moe Larry. Like they weren't leaving. There's enough bird seed for I fill it up every day.
Give me the seed, you see.
Yeah, we'll see if it comes through in the audio.
Dude, my neighbor turned me on to the fact that bird seed, he's like, I put one out at my place and it was doing good. Like, the birds were fucked. They're eating a shitload of seed. That was cool. I was looking at them. And then he's like, hey, he goes, yeah, I had a bird feeder like that. He goes, at my last place, and the seed that they knock out attracts rats.
Yeah, well, that's the benefit of being on the fourth floor.
You could just draw them in and then watch them devour the. They're just eating the bottom of the foundation like a fucking cartoon. This thing's just gonna tip over.
I mean, I did have a mouse in here at one point. There's
a mouse in the house.
Well, there's one, and I got him one down, and then I saw a second one. I chased him, and then I have not seen any sign. There's been no droppings. I taped up the. There's duct tape between the foundation of the wall now. And
I like that you call them droppings.
Dude, it ruined my day for like 2 weeks in a row. Seeing a mouse in your house really like takes away something as a man like the sanctity of your house.
I think it adds to it. It turns you into it uncovers the hunter deep inside.
Well, I tried to live catch them for a while, and then as soon as you fail to live catch one, your pride gets hurt. Like when it scrambles between your legs and like jumps over your foot and gets it, you're like,
Dude, I get
all
try to
poison.
take my shirt off. I cut the lights out.
You're like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator. You're putting it under your eyes.
I play a didgeridoo. It's like wow, wow, ew.
The mouse is in your bathroom, and then all of a sudden you shower curtain pulls back, and it's you with 3 spears and a stone knife.
The mouse is showering in the with a tiny loofah.
You're trying to catch him, and he's, hey buddy, can you pass the soap? I can't reach it. I'm mouse sized.
Oh man, did you go in the Sistine Chapel?
Not the Sistine, no. I've been to the Louvre, which is where I got that Mona Lisa notebook. Pictures can be added later.
Have you been to Italy?
No, I really want to go to Italy. It's high on my... Oh, there's my godfather on the Outer Banks. That's where those pictures were taken.
Nice.
And there's you and me up there.
What was that place called?
I forget. I have it on my phone because I'm about to take Lily there.
Oprah's Delight. I don't know why I thought she lived in that building.
You thought Oprah lived in that building?
Yeah, but I think that like Chance the Rapper, I think there's been like some famous folks down there.
I mean, it's a prime spot. It's a primo.
Yeah, you got
primo spot.
Like
but
views
if you're a
of
famous
water.
person, I feel like you want to avoid the... that's a pretty notable
Madness.
building. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if somebody was like, hey, Chance the Rapper lives there, I'd be like, fuck, I got to move because now...
Yeah, I think he moved to the burbs.
Yeah, that's a good call. The art might suffer, but...
No, that's where it thrives.
No, I thought he's going to get a little garage band going.
There was this documentary that I watched about a recording studio that Dave Grohl made. It's called like Sound City. You've ever heard of this?
I've heard of it, but I haven't
I
seen
think
it.
it's called Sound City.
Yeah.
But it's in like the burbs of California. Like it's the most unhip.
Yeah, square area.
Yeah, it's like going out to Bolingbrook. And then like the most legendary
rock stars come through.
recorded albums in there.
It's hilarious.
Like,
Dave
it's got
Grohl really
crazy
does look
history.
like a suburban dad that's in like a cover band.
Yeah, he does.
He's got like the wrist sweat things, one of the wristbands.
Yeah, like the rocker watch.
Yeah.
He drives a Civic.
Yeah. He's just got like dad. Like if your friend's dad looked like Dave Grohl and was like, yeah, I do like, we just kind of do 80s, 90s greatest hits covers at the local bar.
Yeah, I work from home. I'm a drafter. I draft
Architecture layouts.
architectural layouts.
But what I really
bills.
like doing is jamming. I like to jam with my friends.
Tuesdays,
Keeps me busy.
Thursdays, we go over to Marty's and we just rip.
Yeah.
Couple J's, nothing crazy.
Keeps me out of the wife's hair. She likes to have her bridge nights. And it lets me live out my little fantasy from time to time.
He does look like a rock star. Like a dad rock star.
Yeah.
The long fucking hair, dude. The shoulder hair.
Yeah. And he's just got that... Because he doesn't have the angry rock star. You know what I mean? He's got like the smiley, like...
Right.
Oh, this is cool. I'm having a good time, sort of.
But you got to figure in the 90s or whatever when Nirvana was humongous.
Yeah.
Like, what has that guy seen?
He's been to the other side.
Coming out of Seattle, like a tiny ass punk scene.
Yeah, I wonder if he kept it together the whole time. I wonder if Nirvana was like, can you be too cool for like all the high school senior sniz getting thrown your way?
Dude.
That's tough to be too cool then. You know what I mean? Like, can they, because they're rebelling against all the kiss and the glamour and the excess. They're like, we're stripping it back down to just the roots.
The
and you're
elements.
like, how are you stripping it all the way down, or are you keeping that element of insane groupie ecstasy orgies?
Yeah, you're saying of like the 60s era.
Yeah, because I feel like all rock stars, no matter how much you want to remove from how everyman you want to be.
Or yeah, whatever idealistic horseshit that you're like
Yeah.
basing your band off of.
Yeah, when fucking Stacy's mom comes knocking on the door, it's hard not to answer in the green
It's
room.
fucking cocaine and chicken wings and
Yeah.
fast food and anal beads and fucking. You've got to like
And fucking.
It's hard to pass. It's got to be hard to pass that up because you're essentially living like a king with a. What do they call that when you have like a flock of women?
A harem.
A harem.
Yeah. It's the one ring. It's tough to throw that in the fire.
Yeah, it's like everyone's corruptible to some degree. A harem is hard to pass up.
It's very
Like,
hard to pass up.
I
Especially
was
if you're
faithful until I had the opportunity to
have
have a harem.
Yeah. And especially if you're like the bassist for Nirvana, you know what I mean? Like you're so like if you're the bassist for one of those bands, you're that close to being nobody. You know, it was about to be nothing for you. It was about to be Cinnabon management.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like married to a lady that you met at a mixer for work.
Yeah,
your knees are bad.
The impossibility of your success
You were 4 strings from success. If you showed up to that first rehearsal and like one of your strings broke, they might have gone with Ernie and you would have been a nobody. But your mom got you like a high quality bass for your 17th birthday and now you have a harem.
So you're ready to celebrate.
Yes. Yeah. You can't let any of this pass you by.
Crazy, dude.
That's insane. You want to bust into the first question over here?
Sure. Is there more coffee in there?
Yeah. Help yourself. I had cold
That's
brew
what I
before you got
sidetracked.
here. No, it's all good. I saw your eyes track. Watch out because that it drips after when you stop pouring. So give it a little finger wipe.
I'm familiar with that. Once you get to be a certain age, you can't get it to stop dripping.
Polish it off, dude, because I can't. I've had too much
Dude, there's
caffeine
some
already.
Heavy mud in there.
I know you're getting it's very finely ground coffee, so you're gonna get a little.
Cripes. This
You're
is
gonna-
gonna be. I'm gonna be like a Turkish man in here dancing.
It's gonna go in between your teeth. It's gonna look like you ate
You ever
sand.
have Turkish coffee?
Yeah, I love it. I'm a big fan.
The end is a nightmare, though.
No, you have to. Here's the thing about Turkish coffee is that you can always get more liquid out of it. So you know what I mean? Like you could keep
So
sipping
you
it.
just, You could just fill water up in that fucker.
No. What I'm saying is like as you sip down towards the mud at the bottom of the coffee, like you can always tilt it farther and farther back and get a little more drip of the coffee.
Uh-huh.
But as the deeper you go, the more coffee grounds are just going to come sliding into your teeth, like when you're trying to
Yes.
drink the ice at the bottom of a
Yeah, the
drink.
sediment.
Yes. So Turkish coffee requires a self-control to be like, I'm going to leave a little layer of coffee at the bottom so I don't have
You have to
shit
know.
on my teeth.
See, I wasn't familiar with how much was going to be down there.
Yeah.
I had like a small amount left. It was hidden under the surface.
Yes.
And I went full.
Back.
I did a finish off guzzle.
And you got a little shit on the front.
I got a mouthful.
Did you
of
get this
sand
in Istanbul?
in Istanbul? Yeah.
Yes, Turkish coffee at the
At
source.
the airport.
That's the true source. Is like there. It's there.
It was a Turkish thing though. I had these weird bagels too that were like really wide and skinny.
Yeah, I love Turkish food. There was a Turkish
Sandwiches.
restaurant in North Carolina that I loved so much.
Dude, they were selling cartons of cigarettes in the airport. By the
Turkish-
carton on the shelf, like cartons.
How much?
I don't fucking know.
You should have brought them back. How much time we got on the recording? Have we been going 19 minutes, or is it counting up or
I
down?
don't know.
It's counting up.
Let's
Damn.
just go till it shuts off.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So, Turnip and Stone Advice Podcast, proof of concept. First question.
It's like the LSD tests footage for the military.
Yeah, except prostitute is already out of the question. Didn't they do that? That was where they'd film John's. They'd have a prostitute, Joe's. Yeah, it was like a CIA where they'd like, a guy would go to like fuck a prostitute and the prostitute would be paid off by the CIA to
Get
dose him with
information?
LSD. No, it was to
Oh.
experiment, and they would just watch him trip.
See what the fuck happens to him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
It's more than you bargained for. Especially, imagine the guy who was, loved his wife, loved his family. They've fallen on kind of hard times, and he was just going. He's like, I'm just going to do this once while I wait for her to let me move back in. I promised Linda I would never do this, but I have to like, I'm not getting. He finally kind of cries in the car and brings himself to do it, and then he gets hit with LSD.
He witnesses. He like sees his own birth and death and fucking.
He goes, I promised I would never do this. Then his pupils dilate the size of dinner plates.
He's just fucking shirtless in the park in a rainstorm.
Trying to find his way home. Damn, that's dark. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. On his knees in Haight-Ashbury in San Diego or whatever.
That's a wild twist of an evening.
Yeah, that's not what you thought was going to happen.
Getting dosed with someone would suck like that.
Yeah.
All right, so you're talking. We're gonna take we're gonna try to chop up a question here with some advice.
Yeah, the proof of the what's in the meat and bones, the meat and potatoes of the podcast is the answers to the questions.
Okay.
So we got 3 example questions we're gonna try and get through. Sent in by buddies. Eventually they'll be sent in by strangers, but for the first one. All right, so this is what we got. Long-time listener, first-time caller. 6'4", 195, and I make a solid PB&J. I recently moved across the country and have adopted a few shops around me as go-tos, including a local supermarket. The staff working the checkout lines are pretty consistent, and I've built up banter with one in particular. She checked my ID and saw I was from out of state, and we've had a consistent back and forth since about the area and what there is to do around there. How do I determine whether she's given me opportunities to ask her out or if she's just exceptional at customer service aspect of her job? I'd love to talk to her for longer than the 3 minutes it takes to check out, but I don't want to misread the situation and potentially lose my loyalty cards and all the savings that come with it.
Okay.
All-time that's a classic dilemma.
Okay. Is this in an...
So, moved from out of state, new state.
Okay.
He feels like he's got great rapport with the checkout lady at his local supermarket. How do you know if you're getting the green light?
How local? It is,
Yeah.
Is it the...
No, it's not
Every
the
day?
supermarket, but it's his. Imagine, I would say it's smaller than Chicago, but let's say that it's like this is like let's say like this is the one like closest to the apartment building. Don't say the name.
Is it the top one?
Yeah. You want to take a look?
Yeah, 6'4", 195.
Look at look at the technology that we have available to us. We have an iPad.
This is like
2
Minority
Pro,
Report.
whatever. iPad Pro Max.
I like the height and weight. 6'4", 195. Solid. Tall.
Yeah. I will say, out of all the buddies that sent in questions, this guy is he's the hunk of my friend group.
He's the guy that's picking up ladies at the grocery store.
I don't know how often he's pulling it off, but he's definitely like the chin,
It's
the
called
hair.
a supermarket, Eric. They got more than just a grab and go stuff. They got gals too.
Yeah, he could definitely visually he'd be the one to pull it off. I don't know what I've never seen him in action with a lady before, so I don't know. But generally speaking, this is like an age-old question because I've been there many times, and I'm sure you have in the before.
First off, he's worried about losing his loyalty card.
Well, I think he's joking about. I think he's being.
I think that's an honest concern.
I think he's more like if I go for it and I say no, I have to find a new supermarket.
Well, yeah, he's worried about his loyalty. His credits is built up. It's like if you go to Mariano's and you're building up all your loyalty stuff, you see a chick there that's gonna be she's a lifer. She's gonna retire at the store.
Yeah,
she's a manager.
Well, that's another.
You burn that bridge. You're gonna see her every time you go in the store.
Yeah.
Then every time you go to the store, you have to go make the calculation. Is she gonna be there? Is she not gonna be there?
I've never gotten deep enough in a loyalty program to factor that in. I'd give my 30% off for
You're not
pussy.
very loyal.
No, well,
Eric, it's easy to sign up. It's just like a guy with an
yeah.
aggressive
Do you
sales pitch
if you have the Kroger credit card, and you're getting 2% cash back on every purchase there. That's an added.
Do you sign up? Like, are you if somebody pitches you at an REI or at a Dick's, they go, you save 20% off if you sign up for
the
our
email
rewards
list
program or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you go for it?
Most of the time.
See, I think that's
Not most of the time, but if it's a place I'll go back to. I got $60 free for at REI sitting right on that desk right now. $60.
Yeah.
It's a good.
Here's my problem. I sign up and I have the same mentality, but I never follow through.
Oh, well, here's the thing. If I never use it, I'm no worse off. I was going to buy the camping stuff anyway.
Yeah.
I don't like the emails. And if it's a place I know I won't go back to, if I'm like at a Shell gas station in Lincoln, Nebraska or whatever, and they're like, do you want to join our locals only rewards program? I'm like, no, thank you. But
Here's my problem. Here's how unbelievably kind I am.
yeah.
I buy on other people's royalty. That's how much I don't
To
sign
build
up
up
for royalty.
Their thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sow and I don't reap, dude.
But again, you're losing nothing from it. You know what I mean? Like you're just...
Yeah.
You get the money off in the moment if there's a discount.
All right, we're off the rails here.
Yeah, it's okay. The loyalty is something to consider, but
I think it's a huge aspect. You don't want to sweep your points under the rug. You always want to keep an eye. And I'm saying this because I've made mistakes with my. I think I've just realized that
you've neglected some.
I could be cashing
some
in.
Coupons that you might have had if you had lived your life a little differently.
I could be living a higher standard of quality of living.
Yeah.
So I think it's a valid concern.
But the primary concern being the inconvenience of, I asked this girl out. Not only do I like this girl, I like all the, I get along. He's there all the other people know him. If he asks her out and she says no, she's going to tell the deli guy. She's going to tell the guy stocking the shelves over.
See, I think
he's going to have some stink on him.
I think you could tell if there's an opening.
Yeah. But that's a tough.
It's like.
Run the scenario. How direct are you with the ask out? How long do you have to build up?
I'm feeling it out.
Yeah.
And I'm checking signals. I'm like, I'm seeing, is there a ring?
Yeah.
Is she talking? Is there background on her phone?
A dude?
A dude? Is it, does she give off that energy?
Yeah.
Or is she giving off the flirty energy?
Yeah.
I think you got to read the room before you pop the question.
Here's the thing. It sounds like he says they have a consistent back and forth about what to do in the area. I think it's this is easy. If your topic of discussion is already things to do in the area.
You're looking for stuff to do.
You say, like, pick a hobby. You go, where's the badminton course? She goes, I love badminton. It's over on 99th Street or whatever. You go, I don't have a partner. If you're already talking activities, I think it's easy to be like, oh, yeah, I'll actually be at the wine and paint class.
See, I think number is first. I think number to where you go.
That's if you're willing to, if you're going to gamble your relationship with the grocery store, yes. But if you're not, I think you go.
That won't gamble the relationship.
Asking for her number? That's the most direct thing you could do besides being, can I fuck you on this, on the conveyor belt?
You're talking about taking her to a picnic or some shit.
No, but I'm saying if you're asking for, if you're a new guy in the town asking for advice on what to do, and she says, I like going to this pottery class, I think you might be like, oh shit, can I might check that out. What night do you go? Because then you give them an out. She cannot be there that night if she knows. And then you go, okay, I just have good back and forth at the checkout. I don't have to give up the grocery store.
Right.
If she goes like, yeah, what I really like is this craft brew place. You go, shit.
I like the number because you can text. You can figure out where you're going next. I feel like it's not as...
but the number is a definite
you're not
ask
asking
out.
For presents.
The number, if you're like, let me get your number.
Or you say, I think you might say like, hey, you know, I'm new. I'd like to, if you want to check out this place.
Yeah.
Here's my number. Or... I think you either leave or you get the number. And if she gives you the number, I think it's easier for her to go, oh, sorry, I'm taken.
Yeah.
With
you
the
take
number.
it off.
And then you
have to really,
right.
if the whole point is that you're trying to do this in such a bomb diffusing way that you, okay, I'll vamp. Can you hear the car alarm going off? Can you hear the birds in the window? Holy shit. Is the camera tracking the birds in the window? Or is the ghost of Steve Rains still here? Steve's piss sounds like cottage cheese. This might be a good time actually to stop the video and restart. Oh shit, it is. Steve, you timed that perfectly. Hit the sink. What are you doing?
I did.
There's soap in there.
I washed up.
I believe you. All right, let me stop and restart the video.
I pretty much time everything with my cock.
All right, let me pee real quick. Yeah, you got a dick timer. Oh Jesus!
What?
How do you usually keep the seat down? I haven't seen how bad it got.
Dude, it's not good in there.
That's brutal. I'm sorry you had to see that. I never lift the seat because I'm always home alone.
Hey, no, it's just, it's a bachelor pad, bro.
Yeah, but there's some darkness in there. How do you get up under the seat like that?
It's because you're fucking splatter shitting in there. It's called being almost 30.
I know.
It's nothing, it's all natural. There's nothing wrong. It's like, kids don't have the PSI built up.
This is so eerily similar to what the toilet would look like after my grandfather.
Hit that with some spray, dog. Spray that fucker down.
I got one more squirt left in that. I got that blue high bowl cleaner, with the angled head, so you can get all the way back. I'll wipe that down in the near future. Hey, the squirrel's back.
I don't have a whole lot of time because I'm gonna go work out and meet my buddy.
Here we go.
I gotta get shit ready too for this trip I'm going on tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you're about to take off.
Vegas tomorrow one day, and then headed to the fucking.
I'm glad we're squeezing this in between.
I kind of want to go leisure suit in Vegas. I'm gonna get a picture at Lucy in the chapel.
I like that.
Well, dude, I got a blazer from the. Are you recording?
Yeah, we're back
Is
on.
this thing still rolling?
Yeah, this has not stopped.
I got a leisure suit, or I have a blazer that I bought in Joshua Tree, straight up plaid from the 70s. I'm like, dude, I kind of want to rock that with some fucking beige
high roller.
Some beige dress pants.
You have to dress like a cartoon wolf in Looney Tunes.
Dude, chest hair out.
You need a big wide brimmed fedora with matching plaid.
I want to go full sleazeball. Coke sunglasses.
Yep.
Even though I'm not on all that shit, I just want to feel like I want to act.
Yeah,
I want to Daniel Day-Lewis Vegas.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Just snorting powdered sugar.
Yeah.
Drinking NAs.
Can I get a non-alcoholic martini, please? Just olive juice. All right. So, I think
It's just fucking blow up dolls like they're escorts. That's the NA version of an escort.
Yeah, you walk into the hotel with 2 blow up dolls under your arms. Yeah, da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da.
Hey, sweetheart, get something to drink. I just throw her at the bar.
She's floating face down to the pool.
What were you about to say though? I cut you off.
I was gonna say that I think if you're gonna go for the number, it has to be under the pretext of like, hey, I want to know more. I would almost have like a business card or something like that.
You'd hit her with a business card?
No, but you got to have your number. Have a pen. Have a pen in your pocket. When she gives you the receipt,
You could maybe send her a Google invite, a Google Docs invite.
Hey, what's your email? I'll add you to my Google Calendar. We can PM me on my Google Calendar what days you want to hang out.
Slip her a business card. Eric Emerson Cock Bandit Incorporated.
I think that you're
That is such a funny, like a dude that's he tries to fuck like a player. He tries to like fuck so many chicks that he has like a fucking
business card? I think if you have a job where you have an excuse to already have a business, because here's the thing, you have a timer, you have a 3-minute window while she's ringing you up to make any kind of progress. So you can't hold up the person behind you for too long being like, how do I get my number? I think if you're going to go for the number, you got to go start the small talk, say, oh, fuck, you like flying kites too? I would love to do that. She's giving you the receipt. Take out a pen. and be like, "This is my number. If you let me know where you fly kites at, I'd love to do it sometime." And then you've put the balls in her court.
Yeah, the number.
Yeah,
we agree.
No, but I'm still saying that I might, before going for the number, I would run at least a few.
I don't know if I'd go fly kites out of the gate.
No, but I'm making up examples of things that she might be suggesting.
Sure.
I would say like,
I think you just drop it in as soon as possible, rip it off like a Band-Aid.
But you're gambling your local spot. I'm trying to come up with a way to, because if she says no, you're never going back there.
It's not a gamble. It's weirder if you hover around and you're trying, but if you just go, hey, you single, you want to maybe get some coffee sometime? Like, just throw something out simple at the end to where it's an easy no. You got to make it to where it's an easy no for them.
Yeah, but I think the easiest no without being worried about it being awkward to come back there would be like, if she says, because they're making small talk about what to do. If she says, this is my favorite brewery, just be like, oh shit, I'll go there after work on Thursday if you want to swing by. And then if she doesn't show up on Thursday, or if she doesn't suggest another day, then you go like...
Well, yeah, it's the same. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah. But the number I'm just saying is there's no pretext that you're not trying to fuck if it's the number.
Same with asking them out.
But I'm saying
hey,
you're throwing
at
like,
a brewery. That's like, this is a pathway to fuck.
That way you still have the deniability of like, you're showing me around the town. I'm new here.
Oh, come on. You know better than this.
I'm answering this question. His question is, how do I do this without burning the bridge?
It's like it's if they're meeting up at a brewery.
Yes, yeah, but I'm saying he wants to know how to do it without there being any awkwardness around the grocery store. How does he do it without losing
something simple?
Without losing the grocery store. I'm saying if she hits you with some advice on what to do, and you say like, "Oh shit, when are you going to be there? I'd love to see you there." You've done it under the pretext of you're showing me around this new city. And so she has an out to be like...
Yeah, see, but then it's like if she misreads it and then she goes and then she's like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. She's already invested time. You got to almost present it in a way like, I'm trying to fuck you without saying I'm trying to fuck you so that you know kind of where my head's at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think she'll get that out of the initial, like... Oh, cool. Oh, you like that brewery? Yeah, I saw they have a discount on Wednesdays. I'll be there Wednesday if you want to stop by.
I think we're saying the same. Are we saying the same thing?
Similarly, but you're doing it more with your dick out than I am. We're doing the same thing. I get nervous about like, if I'm coming back in here and I get denied. But you can also...
Denial is a fine thing, though, because it's like, okay, all right, cool. I know, you know.
Yeah.
Now you're just my grocery point tag.
That'd be funny if you get denied and then the next time you go there, you're a real asshole.
Vengeance.
Yeah. Put the points on my card, hag. You pig.
How many points do I have today?
Yeah, I'd like to redeem them, you dumb bitch.
Away with you.
Go get me a man who can properly apply this percentage off to my card.
See, I don't think there's any harm in being like, you feel it out in the conversation the next time he sees her.
Yeah.
She's at the counter, customer service counter.
Yeah.
And they're laughing. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like craft beer. I like craft beer. I drank so much. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're ever, I got the day off Friday.
Yeah.
If you're ever in town.
Yeah, be like, I work half days Friday. I think that's an easy.
Yeah, you want to grab a drink after you get off, after your shift or something?
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I think that's easy. I want to tap this and make sure it didn't stop recording. I think that's good. We got that one. Let's do the second question.
Yeah, let's move on. We agree. Just fucking ask her out. It's not gonna... I think if you're not creepy...
Yeah.
Like, I'm joking about saying, hey, I want to fuck you and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously. But if you're not creepy and it's just like, yeah, I'm into you a little bit.
Yeah.
I think if you take the no...
Yeah.
And then you don't further be weird...
The memory's full. I gotta get a bigger SD card. We'll do the rest audio only. We'll animate it if we need clips.
Animation.
Yeah, as long as you're not weird about it, you can still. And here's the thing: worst case scenario, you just don't go to that grocery store for 3-4 months.
Yeah,
you go to Trader
Joe's.
Joe's.
We could go into a whole other thing. That's why my first question was, how close is the grocery store, and how?
What are you gambling?
Yeah,
if it's the one
points is a joke, but it's like, do you got? If you really got a bunch of loyalty points, it's walking distance.
Yeah,
it's almost like don't shit where you eat, no matter what.
Yeah,
if it's that good.
Yeah, Then you have to do a real gauge of like how
there's
good.
There's restaurants and there's stores like there where like, no, we're keeping this business.
If you like, let's say you go in and you and her have such a good rapport that you're like, this could be something. Or it's like, this is the only other girl I met who's into like wildlife rehabilitation or whatever you're in. You know what I mean? Like something specific. Otherwise, if you're just trying to bang, you can bang anywhere in the city without ruining your checkout.
Right. It's got to be a higher level pursuit than just a bang.
Also, is this like a niche one-off grocery store, or do they have a self-checkout? Because if they have a self-checkout, I almost say ask everybody out there. And then just start doing the rewards loyalty.
Yeah, you're insulated.
Yeah.
Also, what's the longevity of the establishment like? Is it going to be there in 5 years?
Yeah. Also, because I know the guy, he said she checked my ID and saw I was from out of state, and they've had consistent back and forth. She probably wants to bang you.
Yeah.
He already said 6'4", 150 makes a solid PB&J.
Yeah, to me it almost just sounds like he's just bragging in the whole thing. Like, I know I'm gonna fuck her. I'm acting like I can't.
Yeah. He's just
While
waiting.
you two nerds sit on a couch.
Yeah,
and talk
podcast. Why don't you guys talk about how much dick I'm slinging in this new town? All right, that's
6'2",
a good
195, fucking dong like a oak tree.
Well, write back in and let us know how it goes. I think a good aspect of this will be the follow-ups. People, if they try the advice, if they don't, I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, just to follow up, see what happened.
All right, second question. You ready?
I mean, I could go on and on.
Hey, Eric. Yeah, we could go forever on that. That's a deep question.
Also, here's another thing. He seems like I just moved into town. It was recent. He seems like a guy that's not even going to be there that long. So it's like I would almost want to talk to him and be like, how long are you going to be in fucking Wichita? Wherever the fuck you had. You move here for work?
Yeah.
You going to settle down here? What's it going to be? 1 year?
I know,
2
just
years?
because I know this, we won't have this kind of info on other people, but I know he works remote.
Yeah, he's all over.
He could,
Yeah,
who knows?
Cares about the grocery store? All right.
Also, this is another big question. Oh, I almost forgot this. I'm glad you threw there's no more camera. Big factor. Is this a grad student working her way through grad school, or is this a career grocery store clerk?
Right. Is
because
she tenured, invested, and union.
How many patches are on that Trader Joe's vest?
Yeah, she's out of there anyway.
If she, I mean in terms of like the quality of like, are you risking this all? Are you going to risk your spot for a girl who's never going to rise above grocery store checkout? You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing.
Kind of what you want.
If a girl, let's swap it. If a girl, well, it depends on, exactly. He's making good enough money. He can take care of it.
Relax.
Just get a simple.
Yeah.
But here's like for a girl, let's put it in a girl's perspective. If I was working at a grocery store and the girl's flirting and we're talking and she's like, so, what are you doing after this? And I'm like, oh, nothing. I'm just going home. My name's in for a promotion here. I might get middle management at Food Lion. She's probably going to be turned off a little bit. If she's like, what are you up to?
Said that?
Or just like if a girl is asking a guy in a grocery store.
What's Food Lion?
Have you never been to a Food Lion before? That's a southeastern thing. Yeah.
Nice.
But what do you call it? But if they're like, what are you doing after this? You're like, oh, I have to hurry. I'm my med school. I'm doing night classes at med school.
Okay.
I'm saying like you're going to want to judge before you risk the grocery store. Is this a girl that you see a future with? Or at least a potential.
I might be breaking new ground here, but I'm going out on a limb and saying that women like men with higher paying jobs.
That's yes. I'm saying if you're going to risk the grocery store spot for a potential relationship, then make a gauge. There's nothing wrong with working at the grocery store.
You're saying it sounds like it. You're saying that don't try it if she's gonna have a career as a grocery store hag.
I'm saying how many older women.
Make sure she's a doctor before you risk your connection with
what's
it called, first
I'm
class?
saying examine, check all the corners. Be a Navy SEAL about this.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong, and maybe she just works at a grocery store because she likes hiking on the weekends. She just needs to pay the bills. She doesn't want. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, figure out all the information you can before you risk the grocery store.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Unless you're trying to maybe he's trying to get into the grocery store deeper. He wants to know when the produce is coming in. He wants to know.
He's like James Bond. He's sleeping with a beautiful lady to get more information.
He's like, she could teach me how to pick out a pineapple.
She's talking to
and
her
figure out-
friends. She's like, he's great, but all he wants to talk about is when the fresh produce comes in. He's really interested in the delivery schedule, the potatoes
We're
and the
just
carrots.
about to do it, and he always just asks me, when do they process the ribeye steaks and cut it off the side of beef?
He was about to come. He said, I'm going to miss you, like the fresh produce section.
He just wants good intel, dude.
On how to get the
He's
steaks.
trying to infiltrate.
Yeah, he goes, hey, who's the guy back in there? How long has he been cutting it up? I got a ribeye the other day, and let me tell you, it was a little leaner than I like in a ribeye. Does this guy know what he's doing?
He doesn't want to sacrifice the contact.
She goes, he's new, but he only works on Wednesdays. He goes, that's good to know. All right, question numero dos. I have a friend, let's call him Mark, that has been single for about 8 years now. He had a girlfriend through high school, another for the first few years of college who broke his heart, but he hasn't really had any real romantic connections since. We're in our late 20s at this point, and in the past few years, he's made comments to our group of friends that are increasingly incel-like, and has sent literature to individual friends about studies on why men like him will never meet women and why most women aren't suitable for a long-term relationship. The rhetoric has quieted in the last year or so, but he's still very adamant that he's single for life and he's given up hope on meeting someone. While I support the confidence to fly solo, I worry about him giving up hope when he's only in his late 20s and falling down the incel rabbit hole again. How would you handle a close friend flirting with the way of the incel? I'll say I really am not a fan of the buzzword incel, unless he's using that word himself.
Well, it's not, is it a buzzword or is it actual classification like incelibatory?
Yeah, but you only hear it.
Classification.
I
of
know
someone that doesn't.
I don't know
pursue.
anybody who's not like hip to the like world of like socio-cultural political lingo that uses it. You know what I mean? So this is what this
So
is
you're
the
saying
only
it's
thing.
an unofficial word.
No, it's what I'm saying. Like, the big question that I have that this question raises is: does he self-describe as an incel, or do you have a buddy who's struggling with women and you've put incel as a characteristic on top of that?
Well, it sounds like he's reading incel articles.
Yeah,
and
if
stuff.
he's
so
if
it
he's
sounds
sharing,
like he's getting into it like it's a hobby, like it's model trains or something.
yeah,
Like,
if he's getting into it like the 4chan, if he's on the Reddit forums,
yeah. First of all, I think he's jerking off to too much porn. If I gotta guess,
you
I
think it's
he's
too much porn?
Dude, he's just covered in jizz, shooting loads like Spider-Man in his fucking studio apartment.
Yeah,
And then he's reading Reddit threads.
yeah.
And he's in a weird emotional state. It's like, maybe I'm not
Maybe I was never meant.
yeah, we aren't supposed to be. Maybe I'm asexual.
Yeah,
Something weird going on there.
yeah. There's some mental misfire. How would you? I guess the question: how do you get somebody out of it? That's a good.
I'd say, I'd ask him. I'd be like, how much you jerking?
Yeah. Would you say?
What you watching?
Would you withhold? Would you tell him to?
It's like it'd be like a a mechanic brings you're like, it's making a noise.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. You
how
got to
I'd
start looking.
Like,
you got to pop
well,
the hood on this guy.
How long you had it for? You the original owner? You start doing fucking investigative.
Yeah.
How much you jacking?
Yeah.
And he's like, and you're like, you start to feel him out.
Yeah.
How much you really? And you're like, all right. And then it comes out, he's like, I'm jacking 10 times a day.
He had a girlfriend through high school, and the first few years, and a different one through the first few years of college. I might say this might be a special case because he clearly can have a relationship.
Yeah.
But if you're in the same relationship through high school and then another single relationship through college, you might get out the other end and not really know how to handle being single.
Sure.
Because I went 7 years not in a relationship. I mean, I was touching pussy. I was around it
Why'd you say it like that?
because it's funny. It makes me laugh. Pussy.
I can't help myself when I see it.
When I get around some pussy,
it makes my mouth.
makes my mouth water.
You making my mouth numb. Like cocaine, baby.
Like a little pussy, like cocaine. Can't get enough.
Into a total pimp.
But I think you can get through. On if you go 7 years on two girlfriends and you have,
he might have emotional PTSD too. He's scared to get hurt again.
Yeah.
Not to get all Dr. Phil.
Maybe maybe as a friend, suck his dick.
Yeah, suck him off. Give him a release.
Give him a clear mind, like a horse. Take him outside, put him on his belly.
He's scared to get back in the ring.
Yeah.
What if he could be like, I don't want to get hurt like that
again. Yeah, he's tried
subconsciously.
He's been bucked twice. You got to get back on the horse.
Yeah. Got to get back and fuck that horse.
But I mean, I don't know what you can do as a buddy other than encourage him. And I almost might say, and this is hindsight.
What was the end of that?
How would you handle a close friend flirting with the way of the incel?
Well, you start by busting his balls.
Yeah. I think
now this is volatile because it could either end a friendship, or it could propagate.
But if he's already
well intentioned,
if he's walked down this dark road too far, and you're not a close personal friend,
depends how close you are. Yeah.
But if you're not that close, and by losing the friendship, you're not actually losing that much, try and push him out of it like a stubborn mule. What are you looking for?
The time. Keep going.
We're at 2:07. What time you got to be out of here?
51. You got 51 minutes.
51 minutes?
Yeah.
This has been cooking. This is good stuff.
Like a stubborn mule?
Yeah, I'm saying that, like, unless you're like, this is one of my close personal friends and I don't want him to fall, you can always just be like, yeah, I had a buddy once who he's got on Reddit, spiraled off into nowhere. We don't really hang out that much.
Yeah.
But let's benefit of the doubt. He's a good guy. You want to help him out. I think one, total honesty up front. That's be like, if he's like, yeah, look, I read this article. It says that guys like me were never meant to be like, that's gay shit, dude. Don't read that. Why are you reading that?
Yeah.
You got to probe. You get like,
you almost shut it down like so quick.
Yes.
You're like, what?
You can't.
I'm not even going to entertain this.
Yes. Yeah. You can't let it metastasize at all.
Sometimes that is the right thing to go.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Huh?
Give me your phone. Let me take Reddit off your phone. You don't need that.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
dude, I know I've had people do that to me. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'm being an idiot.
Yeah. What? Oh, why'd you get? Yeah. Why is that even there to begin with?
What?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Hit him with the huh. Hit him with a hard
a good. Huh?
What?
What?
What is that?
It's
Incel?
almost worse. Like an ignore is almost worse too than a fucking.
Yeah. But some
people want it to be engaged.
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to
spout their insanity on
Yeah,
it.
part of it is also, he's looking for a reaction from you, either positive or negative. I think you give him a real hard question. Be like, what are you doing reading this? This is for lame internet people.
Which is true.
Yeah, you're better than this. Don't get sucked into this. It's like a guy who starts sharing like political articles. Like, stop. What are you doing sharing
right. And you got to get one, but then there's points where you're like, sometimes they could be deaf, like, what is that saying? Don't talk to deaf ears or some shit. It's like, don't sing a song onto somebody that's not ready to
yeah.
Some kind of Bible bullshit quote, but it makes sense. It's like, don't waste your
words on somebody who's not going to listen.
On somebody, because it's almost like it's not gonna work.
Yeah, well, you also, that's kind of goes back to the original point. You got to gauge how far gone is he.
Yeah.
If this is who he wants to be, but I say, start by just calling it lame, make it seem like something that's unappealing to be involved in.
Right.
I think.
And then see
what happens.
It's
Go
like
from
bamboo.
there.
Like if you plant bamboo in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's evasive, but it'll be cool. But if it pops up, you have to like step on it and kill it.
Yeah.
To make sure it doesn't like take over your fence.
The whole backyard. Yeah, you got to run defense.
But you got to check. You got to check back and see, did it stay? Do I got to pull it?
And then I say, I mean, you're already out here trying to bang the clerk of course at the whatever.
Oh, it's the same guy?
Yeah. Not that we need to address that for I was going to kind of, but yeah, I just had my buddy send in questions.
This guy gets all the pussy, and then he's like,
all my friends
are basically asexual incel nerds.
How can I give them some of my sweet?
192, full head of hair. His next one's gonna be like, that's so funny.
My dick keeps bumping the heel of my shoe when I walk, and it's really leading to a rash. But I would say, all right, so first you make it ridiculous. I think second, encourage him to come out and do normal shit with you where there's the opportunity to get pussy.
Yeah, especially if he's single too.
Yeah, go do single guy shit together. And it doesn't have to be explicitly like, bud, we're going to take you out and try and get you laid. Just make sure you're bringing him out of the house.
Right.
Because the antidote to any of that, like fucking fungus that pops up online, the incel, the whatever, is just being off the... It's being off the computer. You know what I mean? It's like mold.
But yeah, it is incel is a mold. It's not in terms of a biological invasive thing. It's not a weed. It's a moldy personality.
You have to.
They're a moldy individual.
And here's the thing. It's not enough to just counteract. It's like what you were saying with the bamboo. It's like every night that you go out to party, to fuck the grocery store girl, and he's at home alone, it's growing. Because you have to assume he's going to be on Reddit. He's going to be digging the hole deeper for himself. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would give it a regimented twice a week. What are you doing tonight? Hey, I can't, even if you can't hang out with him the whole time, if he's too annoying.
Right.
I would be giving him I'd be sending him intramurals.
Try to jostle him off.
Yeah. I'd be giving him intramural softball leagues, art classes.
Sometimes you got to just strap him to your chest and jump out of the plane like a parachuter.
Yeah, you might have to baby Bjorn this guy to a singles meeting.
Yeah, get over it.
Yeah. But also you have to be willing
It's been
to
8 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But then you reach a certain age where I go, I don't give a fuck what I don't care.
Yeah.
You want to not fuck the rest of your life? You're an idiot.
Yeah, you're dumb. Yeah.
I don't care if you jerk off into a fucking
Here's the problem, though.
cactus every night and go to sleep. What
if that cactus grew to be so big? It turns out. What if you cut the cactus open instead of the water inside? There's just your cum.
It's just actually a kid that is born out of a cactus.
That sounds like an Incan god. But I would say this is the problem with that. I don't care, but eventually it starts to affect your personality.
Well, it's just like we said. How close of friends are you?
Yeah, because that's how much you got to gauge the amount of effort, the return that you're getting.
If he's like, yeah, I met him a year ago in college, I'd be like,
yeah,
you're wasting your time. You're not going to know each other in 5 years.
Yeah, let him.
But if he's like, I've known this guy since I was 12. He's going to be at my fucking wedding.
Yeah.
I was the best man in his wedding, or I was a fucking groomsman in his wedding.
Yeah, then you got to start putting
my
extra.
mom went to Mother's Club together.
Yeah.
Then you got to go, all right, how do we exist on a plane to where he's not weirding everybody out talking about how he's scientifically not supposed to fuck other people?
Yeah, because that's the other thing is even if you let him not pursue women, which is fine, if he's going to ruin every conversation for the rest of your life talking about it, then it's like, you're not monastically not fucking like a Buddhist monk or whatever. You're erroneously not fucking like a crazy person.
Yeah, your lack of fucking is fucking up our life. Like if
Yes, yeah. Your dick is so dry that none of us can hang out anymore.
But if he's in another state, you're good.
Yeah. But
if he's in the intermediate circle where you're existing day to day, you
got to come up with a game plan.
Come up with a GP.
All right, we got one more question. You got time?
I'm gonna piss really quick again.
Damn. All right.
That coffee runs through.
Yeah. I got hemorrhoid cream in there. Take it for a test drive. No, but I have to.
Hard shit, so you have to help out.
You got to, what do you call it? I gotta put that ointment on my butthole sometimes.
Is that a hemorrhoid thing?
Yeah, you gotta keep them.
Yeah, baby.
We're doing great. All right, one more question. All right. I'm a bachelor in his late 20s who goes through stretches of using dating apps. When I'm most active on them, I typically do pretty well. To have several first dates a month. So he's going out with a few new girls a month. People I meet vary in terms of whether they're looking for something of substance or they're more interested in hookup culture, and it's a spectrum for each of which they're interested in. While I'm not hell-bent on a relationship, I do like to develop a connection with someone before showing them my butthole. But I also struggle with setting up hard boundaries and living spontaneously, potentially missing out on opportunities because I'm too in my head. How would you recommend a bachelor navigate that balance in this day and age of dating? I think you just can't overthink. I think you just got to go with, not to be too yin yang about it. That one was kind of vague compared to the other two.
Yeah, you got lazy on that one.
Not hell bent on a relationship. I like to develop a connection, but sometimes I struggle setting up boundaries. So I think what is happening is he's going out on these dating apps. He likes being emotionally connected with somebody, but he almost likes it so much that when it's a girl he knows he just wants to hook up with, he's still like, but how's your mom doing? How's your family?
You're saying
he's not
he
setting
wants
up
more, and the culture is that it's all.
I think
show your butthole first date.
I think he's successful in the dating apps. He struggles setting up hard boundaries and living spontaneously. So even if this, let's say he started banging grocery girl, and he doesn't see a future with her, he's still not going to go fuck a girl that he meets somewhere else because he likes setting up that emotional connection with the girl.
Yeah, too much up top.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to realize that emotional stuff is almost like fucking in some senses.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
Yeah, like you can't just like jump into someone's life and be like, so tell me about why your dad left.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Or if you do.
Whatever the fuck.
How would it,
so not that that's a cosmic leap. But I think even small stuff, it triggers the same response.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why are you asking about like the details of this?
Or they'd be like, oh, he really likes me.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, this is what I'd be worried about in this situation as I'm reading it, which could be misinterpreted, would be the, like, you start seeing a girl and it's okay, but you know you don't want to date her, but you just kind of let this semi-relationship, friends with benefits thing sort of fester and build. You know what I mean?
No.
Have you done that before? I've done it before where it's like, it's a girl, she likes you, you don't really like her, but she's down to fuck. You go out and have drinks before you fuck. You talk a lot.
Starts as a friendship, you're saying?
No, I'm saying like it starts as a friends with benefits thing and it becomes almost a relationship, but you know that you don't want it to become a relationship.
Yes.
But you're not willing to set up that boundary because you are just like comfortable with how it's going. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
how do you break out of
that?
You can't. That's the great way to put it. There's going to be there's a cliff to each one of these things. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If you're going to get in a relationship, you're going to give up that spontaneity of being a single guy in a new city. If you're going to be the spontaneous guy in a new city, you're going to give up that emotional connection.
Right.
If you try and ride the middle, you're going to have that falling out with the girl afterwards, where she's like, "Well, then why were you my date to my cousin's wedding if you didn't want to be in a serious relationship with me?" You're going to have that awkward conversation. There's going to be a falling out on some end.
Right.
You know what I mean? The gasket's going to blow somewhere.
Every reaction had an
equal but opposite reaction. Yeah.
I mean, come on. That was my boy fucking Stein.
Einstein, exactly.
Yo,
Einstein's was, if you dedicate your entire life to studying physics, you're going to have crazy hair and fuck your cousin.
Yeah, was he a Vienna?
I think so. Austrian, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you gotta, I think you gotta just be like, I don't really even know what the fucking advice is here.
It's a vague question.
How do I have my cake and eat it too? You don't, buddy. You can't be friends with women when you're in a relationship.
Are you big on that? can't be friends with women?
I'm big on, I think that the friendships change, and if you don't acknowledge that, you're a liar.
Yeah.
As a guy who's been married 3 years,
Yeah.
the friendships, they have to change.
Because
you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be the same. You can't be the same type of friends with all your friends.
Yeah.
Because you change, they're in a different. And,
naturally, yeah.
It's like.
But I don't think that you got to start throwing barriers up with your female friends.
Yeah, but at one time you were friends with benefits with a lady. You're not friends.
Yes,
you can't be friends anymore.
Once your penis has touched anything, it's different.
Right, and you can't take the benefits away and be friends.
Yeah.
While you're.
Which I think is a little separate from, but yeah, I think that falls under the same umbrella of the.
Yeah, well, we went kind of off the rails because I was saying like.
Well, it's a vague question, so it requires sort of a vague. It merits a vague response.
Yeah, it's like saying, "What do you think about what's going on in the world right now?"
You say, "I don't know. I just go with the flow."
I don't know. It spins around. It's dark half the time and fucking light.
Yeah,
I had a guy.
I get scared when it's dark. I'm happy when it's light. I sleep through the dark most of the time.
The dude barged into the sauna and he goes, "So, he kept talking, which can be either fine or annoying." But this guy's like, those people that talk, and you're like, you're talking way too much, and you're a guy that should never be talking at all.
Yeah, you got nothing to say.
Yeah, this is all sucks.
It's always how it goes.
He just goes, "Hey." I had my eyes closed. He goes, "Hey." He goes, "So what do you think about all the stuff that's going on everywhere around the world?" That was the question that he asked me.
That's insane. That's funny. From his point of view.
I didn't even answer it.
From his point of view, he's walking in there and he's like, I just got to make sure I can even share a sauna with this guy.
I mean, or what do you?
What for all I know, he might support Russia. I got to check before I get in the sauna. This could be a maniac. He's in here with his eyes closed.
Yeah, I don't know. Do I need to? I got to.
His eyes are closed. Maybe he's blind to the injustices of our world.
Like, you want to sit here and talk for the rest of our lives?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to. It's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the only advice that you can really give to this is that you got to be super honest with yourself. You want to read it?
Yeah.
I think when we do this live, we should take turns reading questions.
We're in our late 20s at this point. In the past few years, he's made comments to our group of friends. Oh, wrong one.
Yep.
Bachelor in 20s. His name's Lionel, who goes through Lionel Richie. Hello. When I'm most active on them, I typically do well to have several first dates a month. What? Yeah, this guy's a lost cause. Lionel's a lost
This guy's
cause.
doing great in life. He's just struggling to
do pretty well to have several first dates a month. I've put together an Excel spreadsheet that lists my past performance on the online dating sphere, and I've averaged a median of 3 dates per month.
He's just running the numbers. You could crunch the numbers when you were single.
You don't. It's all. No, it's totally against the mold.
That's what I would say.
It's not an analytical thing. It's an art, not a science.
Exactly. That's where I think that's where the vague advice comes into play for a vague question. You say it's an art, man. You feel it out.
That's funny. Look, a vague question gets vague advice, buddy. Be specific if you want me to be specific.
But I really do think the advice is there's no right answer to how to date people. You have to do what makes you feel good. And if you're doing something that doesn't make you feel good, stop doing it.
The people I meet vary in terms of whether they're looking for something of substance or are more interested in the hookup culture. And it's a spectrum for each of which they're interested in. That explains everyone.
He wrote that like when you have to write at least 4 sentences to answer a question. You remember when they're like, please answer in complete paragraphs, and you answer it in 2 sentences, and then you just start going. And
he made the periods size 18 to take up space.
Yeah, I think the question could just be best summarized as,
why I'm not hell-bent on a relationship. I do like to develop a connection with someone before showing them my butthole.
See, I think that's where you're starting to you're trying to get the best of both worlds. You're like, I don't want to be in a relationship, but we got to be friends. You're like, you don't have to be friends.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, no shit.
And if you don't like the feeling of fucking somebody you're not emotionally connected to, I might just say, especially since we're all in our late 20s, lean towards relationship. Lean into, you know what I mean? Lean into the wave.
Right.
The natural current is to
get into barbecuing and watching Rick Steves Europe and
Yeah, get a house. Meet the girl at the grocery store who likes watch House Hunters with her.
yeah, you're not gonna be cool forever. Like it's not cool.
Yeah, it starts to fall off.
Yeah, so just prepare for the fall off.
Yeah,
Prepare for impact.
start prepping for winter.
You will not be cool forever.
It's
Or hot.
Winter's coming, and you got to batten down the hatches. It's the ant and the grasshopper.
Yeah, you better start fucking collecting butterflies
Or you have to shore up if you're gonna try and. Here's the thing, because you and I are both in relationships. You're married. I'm in a long-term relationship now. So I might be projecting a little bit because I do remember how cool and fun it feels in your early 20s to be a bachelor. And so I don't want to give bad advice just because I'm projecting and being like, you got to live life like us. We've settled down. We reined it in. But I will say, one, it's nice. There's real upsides. Two, you're right. You're not going to be cool forever, or the way that you interact with the world as a single guy will drastically change as you get older. If you're going to commit to that, or if you're going to plan on that, you have to start realizing that you're going to be outside for winter. You and I saw the storm clouds coming, and we were like, let's get inside. Let's close the windows. Let's start a fire. Let's chop some firewood.
No, you're dying with the boots on.
Yes. If you're going to die... but if you're going to live outside through the winter, you have to prep like a pioneer.
But it makes them weird, dude. It turns them into a different species.
Not everyone can survive it.
It's like
some
a dog.
people can do it.
You're like, it's like a dog that you see that's wild. It's like, oh shit, that's got wild.
Well, here's the thing.
Teeth.
Dave Grohl can pull off single into the. I think he's married now.
Fame isn't. You can't even compare the Fame. We're talking average Joes. Fame is an anomaly.
Yeah, fame is a different thing.
I mean,
that's chieftain status. You're king of the.
If you're rich and famous, you could be a fucking. You could look like what are those things in Lord of the Rings that live under the ground?
Smeagol, orcs, goblins.
Yeah, you could be an orc and fucking be pulling into your 90s.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, just come out to Palm Springs and suck me dry twice a week.
Yeah, come to the tunnels under Vegas.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and then you can send them away.
You're living like a lizard in Palm Springs, dude.
Yeah.
Slow. Sun, like you just sit out in the sun and it charges you up, and then you walk like an iguana, and you're 98 years old, just popping Viagras.
Yeah. Getting streetwalkers. Because you don't care what they got. I've been through it all. I think you gotta batten down the hatches, or you gotta prepare to live outside at a certain point. And if you're gonna live outside, you kind of have to let go of that feeling that you're having. Like, I want to get to know him, but I don't want to get in a relationship.
This is a 20s question.
Yeah, you're trying to walk. You're trying to walk on the fence. You can't do it forever.
How do I fuck every single girl at the same time and also be happily married and content?
It's impossible.
Yeah, it all took us about a decade to figure out.
Yeah, we all tried to do it all. Dude, I brewed that coffee strong. It like stripped the back of my throat like paint cleaner.
All right, you ready to wrap this up so I can get moving?
Yeah, let's let Steve go. That is proof of concept for Turnip and Stone.
That was fun. I had fun. Thank you all for listening.
See you November 4th, maybe.
On the Chinese New Year.
Bye-bye.